god, is this a new camera angle? I feel like this is so much more cinematic now. Like the mic still looks massive, but look at, whoa, you know? Look at this. You can see what the weather is in a way. All this empty space. Isn't this nice? I bought command strips weeks ago. I'm too scared to put them on. I look like a tennis player or something. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Design Chef, your favorite design series on YouTube. It's episode 3. I'm on a weekly schedule. I'm consistent for the first time in a long time. I hope you like this new angle. When the camera was like up there, because it used to be quite high, you were looking over me, you know? And now now I'm in control over the video. I decide how many views it gets. If you're new to the channel, sorry about that. My name is Elliot, also known as Elliotisacoolguy on some social media platform. And I'm the only funny graphic designer. Here, let me tell you a joke. Make the logo bigger. I try and make funny graphic design stuff that's actually funny, you know? Not just like design is humor. You know, the Instagram page that just hit 900,000 followers and also was running like an NFT scam for a long time there. I make a bunch of funny stuff, chuck it on Instagram, and now I do YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. I do it all. Just in case Instagram falls to pieces. I'm giving it 6 months at this rate. I don't like Reel, but I love YouTube Shorts. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm enjoying this extended intro. Let's indulge in nothing for a little bit, for once in our life. In fact, I'll tell you how my week was. It's been good so far. The way Design Chef works is very simple. I give everyone a challenge. I complete the challenge in 60 minutes. You can complete the challenge at home if you want to as well. Upload your finished design on social media using hashtag Design Chef so we can all see it and admire it. I will choose a few of my favorites to include near the end of this video. And let me tell you, last week's submissions were hot. I've got one heck of a challenge lined up for you today. I think you're all gonna really enjoy it. So let's get right into it. Today's challenge is it's the series Switcher Challenge. Pretty funny name. I want you to make a poster for a TV series of your choosing. But there's a twist. I want you to design it as though it was a different genre than what it already is. So like imagine Stranger Things is a horror. I don't know. What if you turned it into a reality TV show? There you go, it's yours. That's yours. If you're lost. Good challenge, Elliot. Thank you. I came up with it myself. You have only 60 minutes to design, and I want you to submit it online using hashtag DesignChef. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a nice little fun challenge. I think TV series posters are some of my favorite things to do. That along with movie posters, would you believe? And I've got a good one up in my head, a good new show that I've been watching that I think we should all check out because it's very funny. It's Family Guy. No, I'm just kidding. It's a different show, and it's actually new. You've heard enough from this guy, but you haven't seen enough from this guy, as in you haven't seen me designing yet. So I think it's time to start that timer, put 60 minutes on the clock, because it's time for Design Chef. So here we are in Illustrator, and you're probably wondering, hey Elliot, what TV shows have you been watching recently? I want to know what you're into. Internet creator. I don't watch TV that much. I'm not really a TV kind of guy. I'm trying to change that because there's a lot of good shows out there. One show that I've started watching that was like all over Twitter and everything was the one that we're going to be doing today, which is of course the Rehearsal. I imagine a few of you have heard about this show. It is absolutely brilliant. I've only watched one episode so far because they're releasing them weekly, but wow, what a show. I've always been a huge fan of Nathan Fielder. Loved Nathan for You. So this was like right up that alley, you know, and wow. Good show so far. And I really like this poster. I think this poster sums it up very well, what the show kind of is. It's a little bit awkward. It's a little bit spooky. And that font with the Rehearsal font and the little bits of, you know, this kind of stuff going on. Nice. Whoever designed this, very cool. No faults. Faultless. Let me ruin it now. I'm gonna tear this thing up. I'm gonna destroy this poster. The genre I'm thinking of going with is like, because there's a little bit of horror going on in this. Not really, like, I guess, I don't know, this is kind of horrifying. But I think it could look funny if we went into that horror and kind of we made it like almost like vintage horror style. And I've got an idea of like some kind of like free-handed pen tool type for the Rehearsal. I think that could be fun. And then I also want to play with Nathan's head and do something with the face, you know, because I think this is a great photo and I think we can take that. This is, you know, this stare, I feel like we can use that in the thing. So yeah, I think it'll look good. let's get into it. I just want to quickly mention that I have not exclusively used Photoshop in a long time. I know Illustrator now, and I just wanted to put that out there and say that I have changed. So here we are in Adobe Photoshop. Also, can someone tell me where the last 10 minutes went? Now, I'm going to try a technique here that amazingly talented designer Burrs Letters on Instagram is renowned for, which is the Freeform Pen Tool, which is only a tool that's on Photoshop, funnily enough, which is kind of why we're here, and not on Illustrator. That's the only reason. And the good thing about the Freeform Pen Tool is you can kind of just like write things, yeah? And it gives you this cool like little, what letter is that? That's meant to be an R. It gives it a real nice rough edge to it that I think kind of works for like horror, you know? So I think that could be a cool little touch. And we did custom type in that first, the week 1 design chef. And I really liked that. So I want to see how we can do it for this. And see what I mean with this kind of like rough edge? I like that. I think we should play into it today. So no more Mr. Nice Guy, more like Mr. Cut that last joke, Elliot. I never finish it. So let's start by just trying to get some of this type down, and then we can kind of work on the graphics. Kind of reminds me of going back to like being a kid in a way, this freeform tool, you know, like all the kids in my class could do all these fancy like bubble type. You know bubble type? Anyone here know bubble type? Never really got good at it or anything. I did have my pen license though. Let me be very clear on that. That does not look like an H. And just for the inside of these letters, I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to make another shape, essentially, inside, and then just color that in white. Okay, so there we go. There's a nice little bit of type there. I can definitely do a little bit of cleaning up, but I want to, like, really... There, you know? Final thing we'll do is we'll just make this one a little bit smaller than the rest. We'll angle it in, and then we have kind of like a funny little shape there. I wonder if... Do you guys want to see my layers? Alright, I'll peel back the curtain. You can see my layers from now on. No one say anything. I don't name them. I don't care. We've only got 60 minutes. What do you expect from me? What do you want? And then I think we'll just use like a simple little bit of type here just to put in the. Let's keep messing with this a little bit. These corners maybe could be cooler. Maybe that looks better, I think. I want it to feel like a rectangle. I want there to be a sense of you know, symmetry or whatever. A new show. What's that? You know, Sam, the guy, the Euphoria guy. That new show, with the weekend and stuff. It's like from the dark and twisted minds. I thought that was so funny when I saw that. I was like, there is no way this is a real thing. From the funny and sweet mind of Nathan Fielder. How about that? That's an accurate, I would say that's an accurate description of Nathan. I'd consider him to be quite funny and sweet. We can probably put some like logos down the bottom of like HBO Max and stuff. I think that'll probably make the most sense. Fun fact as well, we don't actually have HBO Max in Australia. We have a program called Binge that you have to watch things on. And let me tell you, outside of Netflix, hard to find good UI design these days. Anyone who's used Binge before, wow. To turn on captions for a show, you have to go into your account settings and turn it on. Like, it's either on for everything or off for everything. Come on. What is this? 2021? I have no idea how there is only half an hour left. This is going to be a sprint, not a marathon. Okay, I have an image of Nathan now, and I think this will help a lot. This is a great photo. Shout out to Nathan Fielder. Wow, what a photo. What we're going to do is we're going to go select, subject, and with the power of artificial intelligence, boom. A perfect crop. Let's just isolate the head from the rest of the body. Just going to go a quick polygonal lasso tool here. Now, before AI, when I was just a boy, this is how we did it. This is how the cool kids did it. Everyone else used the pen tool. No, 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 no. Imagine using the pen tool when you have the polygonal lasso tool at your disposal and you can smoothly go around the edge, and when you make a mistake you cannot go back, so you just have to accept that you lost like your entire hour that you spent going around cropping it like that. What a tool! Now we have the Nathan head. This is great. This is really good. Now the ideas are coming to me, okay? So the first thing that I want to do is just see what will happen if I kind of like put some effects on this. So we're going to do something that a lot of you might be familiar with. We're going to add a little bit of blur. We're going to add a bunch of noise. Then we're going to go into image, adjustments, and threshold. And we can get what looks like a more, you know, like the man that you see in your dreams kind of vibe. Quite interesting how this is turning out. Okay, so I'm either thinking that the head can span like the entire size of the page, and we kind of use that as the main thing like here. That doesn't look too crisp though, and the outside's a little bit too rough. So I think I'd rather have it like somewhere like here. Okay, so I've inverted the image, which I think will help a lot more. I'm also just gonna put this in like a little box, and then we can go for like a more minimal approach, which I think could be cool. It might look bad now. It might look bad at the end. We got 25 minutes to turn this boat around, and I think we can definitely do that. Okay, that's definitely not it at all. I feel like it needs a little something here. Like either we just go in and we add like a stroke around the edge potentially. I don't mind it that much. We can chuck this little bit of text up here. Move the composition down a little bit. We move this down here. There could be enough space because there's a lot of hair going on, and I think it could be nice if potentially the rehearsal text is over the top of all that. This is looking better. Okay, scrap the box, scrap the stroke, and then here we, yes. There's the spark. Now that is what I'm talking about. This is looking good. Thank God. Because I want to use the finished design as like the thumbnail, and if it's not nice, then people aren't going to click it. So like, I want it to be good. I think if you ever see the thumbnail with like a question mark, like over like a blurred design, assume that it might be a, nah, you know what? No, don't. I'll surprise you. Maybe it'll be a flop, maybe it won't. You'll never know. 50-50. This one will probably be a question mark for the sake of, I'm experimenting with thumbnails. There's a whole art to it. It is hell. I feel like it might be good to do the in the same font. I still want to have room for those logos, and I think the corners would be good for that. Let's try and write in the and get it kind of like, maybe it's in the corner. Hello? I'm getting a phone call. Stop the timer. I've got pasta sorted. I got some ravioli. There was a phone call from Elliot in the future, and he says that this design is going to turn out really well. Let's take the little the here and move it a little bit there like that. I think this is what will look best. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that for sure. Remember this old chestnut from the beginning? Does it still... What if we do that? No. Nah. I think it needs a splash of color, but I don't think that's where it'll do best. I like it down here. It feels nicer down here. This filling out like the second and third fifths of the design, perhaps? You guys notice I don't design with grids? I can't stand them. All I need is the grid inside of my mind. The Instagram grid, that is. Coming summer 2022. From the creator of Nathan For You. How about that? Let's do that, and let's do it in like an Apple Garamond, so we have like something a little bit different. That's a nice block of text. I'm really happy with that, everyone. Let's also add a little bit of a stroke going around. I think it might be nice just to have a 1 pixel stroke going on the outside, or maybe 2. Maybe we can be a little bit cheeky in a second. That looks good. So let's take the rehearsal and let's just stretch that up. Have a look at these logos, everyone. Which one do you think is better? HBO Max or Binge? I think it's HBO Max. I've always liked the HBO logo. The Binge logo looks like a race car or something, which is ironic because of how slow it is. I wish we had HBO Max. Seems like a really good streaming service. Okay, so we have these here now, and maybe we can add a little bit of text. Let's see if we can use this Apple Garamond a little bit more, and we'll write only on, and then on the right, we can do and also. I'm just thinking about what we can do to fill in this kind of space on the left and right potentially. There was some great, those great mannequin heads in that original poster was quite good. And I'm wondering if we could take Nathan's head and do more things with it. This actually looks quite Eraserhead-esque in a way, maybe just because it's black and white. So kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from this, that little like gradient kind of in the back there, the noisy bits kind of like peeking in. That's nice, and I think that's what this needs rather than like more focal points, I guess. So let's do a little bit of brush work and let's see if we can get a cool little noise effect going on. So we'll just kind of paint around with like a soft brush, maybe just around the kind of edge of the head, and then we'll just to get it a little bit uneven, maybe warp it around a little bit and see if we can get like a cool kind of effect. So that's cool right there. Like that definitely shapes it all together nicer, which I like. We'll start by copying that black layer on the bottom, merging these two layers together, and then we'll add some noise on top of this here. Quite a solid amount of noise, maybe like somewhere like 23%. Go into adjustments, threshold, we'll do the same old thing. And then we're getting a little bit of that, like that nice kind of noisy detail coming through. I'll probably go back and blur it a little bit so I get a softer edge down here. The sharp edge is nice, but I don't think it really... I think it would do better if the whole thing was a little bit fuzzier. Now the text feels a little bit off, so let's go in and take that title and do pretty much the same thing that we've done with all of it. I just love this effect too much. I should watch some more tutorials. That's what I should do. Learn a new skill. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video. And there we go. That's like a nice kind of like noisier edge that I think looks a lot better. Not really from afar, but closer up you kind of get into it a little bit more. It's almost a little bit too noisy, in fact. There's probably a way we can turn that down, but I don't think we have too much time on our hands. Shrink that down, move that up a little bit, line all that up with those logos, which is nice. Now, there's one thing that they say in the first episode. They say there's a certain phrase that they say, which I would like to include. Let me just find it real quick. Cheap chick in the city. That's the one. They say that like 5 times in the span of like 10 seconds, and it was a very funny little moment. So let's include that in this poster somehow. Just over 4 minutes left. Okay, time to put the foot on the gas. Rev those engines. I can't drive. Cheap chick in the city. Do it again in like Apple Garamond italic, I think is our best bet for making it look, for it to just make sense in the space. And then let's add a few other things that I can remember from the show. Who doesn't have a master's degree? Good show smiley face. I think that'll that's the Elliot charm that we're putting into this design. With them, without them. Let's go with them. Why not, eh? Why not have a little bit of fun? Merge all these layers together and let's add a little bit of paper going over the top of this. Grab one of my favorite textures, this ivory newspaper here. I just realized we don't have like some accent color going on. I think I have a solution around that. Oh, doing a darken is so nice. That looks so good. Gives us a little bit of the gray kind of like shining through a bit. Vintage magazine ink texture over the top. Do that on a light end. That's looking good. I really like those edges on the side there. Let's merge all of this together again. Boost the blacks a little bit. There we go. Bump up the whites too. I do think the design probably could have done with a little bit of text just at the bottom here if we move the face up a bit, but I don't want to get too caught up in it. We've only got 30 seconds. And as a final thing, I just want to try. I don't know if this will work, but I was just thinking if we added some sort of accent color, how it would look kind of just like going over the top of it. So let us pray. Now, I don't know if the color was necessary. I think it's cool. Maybe. I'll probably rethink this in like a week. It gives it a little extra kick, you know? So, here's the finished product. Well, it's. That's a catchphrase now. Set of 3 videos now. Lock it in as a catchphrase. That turned out really well. That was a lot of fun to do, and I'm very happy with the finished product. I think I would love to work on it for a little bit longer just to see if I could kind of like I'd love the R and the L on each side of the rehearsal to kind of like go down and kind of like create like an arch. You know what I mean? Would that be interesting to you? Also, it's nighttime already. God, the sun goes down quick. Now that you can see outside, please don't think that I spend 60 minutes. I want to be very clear. I don't spend like 90 or I spend 60, okay? 60 minutes of actual designing, 90 minutes including all the procrastination. If you would like to join in on the challenge, make sure you upload your work using #DesignChef so we can all see your amazing posters. And on the topic of your work, let's have a look at some of my favorite designs from last week's challenge, the Design Chair Challenge, where I asked you to make a vintage poster for your favorite piece of furniture. And wow, all of them were fantastic, and here are some of my faves. Make sure you go follow all of these people on Instagram. They're killing it. A big thank you to everyone who participated. I'm glad you're enjoying Design Chef, and more is coming. Well, that's the end of today's video. If you like what I do, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we all enjoy it when that number goes up, don't we? Maybe one day I can get one of those YouTube plaques, and maybe that will fill up a space on this wall. Put it up there with blue tack or something. Absolutely tear the paint off. If you want to join the live version of Design Chef, make sure to follow my Twitch stream. I do Design Chef every Friday at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on a Thursday. if you are specifically in that time. I wear the chef costume. It's a song and dance. There's a narrative. It's a lot of fun, and you get instant feedback when designing. And it's always positive feedback because I don't believe in criticism when it comes to designing in 60 minutes. I think that's fair. I also have a print store that you might know about where I sell some of my favorite designs that I've made on my Instagram page as prints. So feel free to grab one of those if you want a little bit of Elliot in your home. And I also sell phone cases through Casetify. I have my own collection. Please enjoy those as well. Feel free to chuck me a follow on Twitter and TikTok if you want some more funny stuff and just some ramblings. I just start posting on those, and I don't even watch or read them back. That's just stream of consciousness plugged directly from the brain into the computer. Who knows what I'm going to say on those platforms. And I guess that's pretty much it. Hopefully I'll see you next week for another episode of Design Chef. I really enjoy this series, and I think it's got a long future ahead of it. So keep on designing, designers, and those who don't design. Because I know some people might just enjoy watching for the personality of this guy. Goodbye. Mwah.